Back here in our USA studio, I'm going to assume that you know Tom Lysiak and his situation this year. I'm going to assume that you know about the 20-game suspension, and now I'm sure Tom will agree it's time to go on with life in this 83-84 season. Tom, before we talk about that and what you did during the 20 games, this game, really a strange pace to it. Start, stop, start, stop. A little frustrating to watch. How was it to play in?
Well, every time we're on the road against a team in our division especially, we try and match lines, and that gets everybody confused, including ourselves, but it's a way that looks like it's been successful for us, so we have to stick with that. We want to match the one line against their big scorer and let the other guys fight it out, see who's got the most talents after that.
Well, at 17-12 of the first period, Tom Lysiak scored on a power play goal. It was a very opportunistic goal, if I must say so, Tom.
Well, the puck bounced around there for a little while and then hit Kendra's skate and managed to poke it through. And then on the goal, I was skating in, and I was going to go to the other side, but I remembered he had his glove on the wrong side. He's a southpaw, so I had to go back to my left.
All right, so that gave your team the lead 3-2. Now, the 20 games that you were out, what did you do for all that time?
Well, 20 games doesn't sound like much, but it's a quarter of the season, and it's at least a month and a half of idle time. So the first week I didn't do much, just loafed around, and then went down to Georgia, have a farm down there, and did a little deer hunting, and came back, went to school, took up a woodworking course, and ended up paying all the bills. And
well, this was a long time, wasn't it?
It was a long time, and then after a while, you just run out of things to do, and you just sit around and watch TV.
How'd you stay in shape?
I was going sometimes twice a day on the bike, and then skating with the team before them, during the practice, and then after practice. And after a while, the head doesn't want to skate anymore, so you just kind of rebel, and it was tough.
So when you came back, what was the toughest thing? Did you feel good? Were you happy with what you had done over that period to keep yourself ready to play when you had the chance?
Well, usually it's the combat that you miss. You know, you can't practice that in practice. There's no hitting hardly at all. And, you know, the hands don't want to control the puck like they used to. So you have to get into the game conditions and handle the puck and practice the stick handling and the work in the corners. You know, you're not used to that type of strength. You can lift weights, but that's a little different than throwing guys one way or another way, or being thrown.
Tom, have the officials that have worked the games since you returned, have they treated you any differently? Has there been any comedic exchange? Have they taken it lightly? Have they been very serious about it? Have they treated you any differently?
I think overall it hasn't hurt me. I think it's even bettered the game. The problem was the delay with two people getting into a face-off area, and by not dropping the puck right away, the players get over anxious and start swinging, and consequently frustration would set in and players get mad. But what they're doing now is to avoid any more of that frustration that the player has for the linesman. They drop the puck as soon as you get in. You don't really have to be lined up the way they had you lined up before. And so I think it's speeding up the game, and there'll be less incidences that way.
Well, hopefully. I know Orville and the Blackhawks are glad to have you back. Lord knows they could use you. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Tom Lysiak of the Chicago Blackhawks.